Hi, it's David Graham here, and as promised, I'm sharing the second video around how high-performing sales professionals overcome customer indecision. So if you can remember from the first video, we focused on two areas where we really did say, there's the status quo that we need to overcome, and obviously what we call the customer's indecision or inability to make decisions. We did leave video one on, there were three key sources of that indecision, which is what I'm going to be sharing with you now. And what I propose to do is just share a couple of graphics that will kind of help that. So as I said, the three sources of customer indecision we can be looking at. The first one is what we call valuation. What we're looking at here is basically the customers worried about choosing the wrong option. All right, there's a lot of options that are available, and some of the statements that you may hear will be, look, I know your system potentially or solution is cheaper, but your competitors potentially is faster. Okay. We as a business are trying to figure out what's important to us as a business. So very clearly indicating some concerns from a customer's perspective around that. The lack of information talks around the concerns as, has the customer done enough research work? Have they done enough time? There is a lot of information available, and some of that can be conflicting, which can cause problems. And again, symptoms of this could be they're asking for more and more information. They may even start including a third-party purchasing consultant. You do particularly see that things like with the ERP type decisions. And obviously, we want to make sure we've left no stone unturned in terms of before making our decision. Indications of lack of information. And the third one we talk about is what we call outcome uncertainty. So in other words, customers worried about, are they actually going to get what they're paying for? Has it been oversold in the early stages? All right. So, statements like, we're not going to pay for you to prove that your solution works. And other options could be around, look, please remember, it's my head on the chopping block. It's going to be on me if this goes wrong. All right. So what's the impact of this customer indecision on things like sales win rates? So at a high level, what I wanted to share with you, first of all, is you can see on there, we've got win rates on the vertical axis. The horizontal shows level of indecision. Remember, we're talking about, I need to think about it some more, and those three factors could be coming into play. So if a customer is exhibiting low levels of indecision, typically you can often see the win rates in the 45 to 55% range, which is really pretty good. If the moderate levels of indecision are being exhibited, look at where the win rates drop. And the final one, if there's high levels of indecision, we're basically looking at potentially a circa win rate of 25%. Now, remember, we're talking about high performing sales professionals. When you consider typically the industry average for the win rate is 26%, it shows big difference, okay, and room for improvement. All right. So what we really wanted to share here is there's effectively two phases to consider here. The first one is what we call beat the status quo. So this is all about convincing customers that there is a need to change, and a lot of the existing, sales coaching, training methodology is very much focused around how to overcome or beat the status quo. Indications that we're doing well there would be, this is where the customer starts, in conjunction with the sales professional, start agreeing on an agreement as to what the vision could be look like. So there's movement away from what we call that status quo, which then means we are then transiting into the phase of, oh, how do we overcome indecision? And amongst other things here, this is where we need to really dial down the level of risk that the customer will be perceived. And I will go into that in a little bit more detail. There's an approach, a methodology that really will help from that perspective. All I ask now is, if you've got any comments, please do share them. If you want to get into a little bit more detail about this, you can DM me. Please do reach out. And what I will be doing is providing more videos that take this into a little bit more detail. I hope it's providing food for thought. All right. And all I want to say is thank you.